Hello everyone, welcome back to another ranking. Today I am ranking the Child's Play films. There are 7 films currently in the franchise, and I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. And with this franchise, the budget for these 7 films was $64 million combined, and the combined box office total is at $289 million for all 7 films, making it a very good success and a successful franchise at that. This is one franchise that I started to love, especially when the first 3 films came out, but we didn't get a sequel for a while, and when the next 3 sequels came out, I never watched them, never wasted my time with them basically. But finally getting around to watching those films, and I recently watched the newest film last year, Cult of Chucky. I can now do this ranking, and I'm looking forward to reading all your guys' rankings as well. So in the comment section below, give me your ranking too, and see how well you match up with mine. I highly recommend doing that before you watch the video. Do your ranking and then watch the video just to see how we compare. But without further ado, here's my ranking of all 7 of the Child's Play films. Coming to number 7 is The Curse of Chucky from 2013. This film is by far the weakest in the franchise. You don't see Chucky till about midway through the film, and it's just mind-boggling, dull and dumb. I'm not a fan of this film. Quite frankly, I'm only a fan of the top 4 in this list. But this film I did not like. I don't understand why they do what they do with this movie, along with the next 2. And I'm not going to drag these out by talking a whole lot about them. So coming to number 6 is The Seed of Chucky from 2004. Most people have this as their worst Child's Play sequel. In my opinion, 5, 6, and 7 can go in either spot, but this film is not a good film. It's all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Chucky is not the main character. I love Jennifer Tilly, but when she's involved in the series, it takes away from Chucky, and he's the main reason why we want to watch these movies, because we want to hear all of his great one-liners and the kills that he does. Jennifer Tilly, I'm not a huge fan of them bringing her in. I understand why they wanted to kind of keep the series fresh, but it doesn't work in this film. It doesn't work in The Curse, and it doesn't work in the next film, in my opinion. And coming to number 5 is The Bride of Chucky, 1998. That's how long we had to wait for a sequel. It was 7 years between Child's Play 3 and Child's Play Bride of Chucky. And I don't like these 3 films. I only watched them just so I can fully understand Cult of Chucky, because I watched Cult of Chucky before I watched the 3 films previous, and I shouldn't have. But those 3 films they're bad. They're bad for the franchise, and there are rumors going around that they're going to do some more films, but I'll get into that in a minute. But the Bride, Seed, and Curse of Chucky are all bad in my opinion. I really wish they would have left it alone, left the series alone. But since they made the movies, as a fan of Chucky, I do watch them, but I just dread. If I'm watching the whole series, you got to watch all the films. But at the end of part 3, when I know I got to watch The Bride, then Seed, Curse, it's a real letdown in my opinion. And yeah, I don't like those films. I don't like the character. I don't like uh, Jennifer Tilly's character. I like her in other films. Don't get me wrong, but I just wish they would have left it to Chucky in this franchise. That'd be like having Jason with the wife in Friday the 13th and Michael Myers and Freddy. I mean, really, come on. That's a little too far, in my opinion. But regardless, they were made, but they're just not great films, in my opinion. Coming number 4 is Child's Play 3 from 1991. I really like this film. I really wish they would have stuck with the original Andy from the first 2 films. There was no need for them to make his character older to go into this military school. But I like the kills in this film. They're very creative, twisted. Chucky is very evil in this film. I love when he switches the paint pellets for the real bullets. I believe he did it for the red team, I believe. And I didn't like the little black kid in the film. I thought he was whiny, and I really wish they would have just focused on the other character from the other 2 films. It was perfectly fine. It would have been perfect ending for the trilogy had Andy just killed Chucky once and for all. But at the end of the day, this film is a solid film. It's a very good sequel, and I highly recommend watching this one. This film, along with the next 3, are definitely the best in the franchise. And yeah, check this one out. It's a very good sequel. Coming to number 3 is Child's Play 2 from 1990. A lot of people consider this to be the best film in the franchise, and they may be right, but I love this film. The third act of this film is the best of all the films, in my opinion, but it is not the best Child's Play movie, in my opinion. I love what happens with Andy's character. I love that they put Chucky in this film pretty much all of the film, because audiences know, again, that's who we come to see. And you'll find that in the first film, he's not in it a whole lot, and that's what audiences want. That's who they come to see. And I love that about this film. I love the fact that he was the main character in this film. I love the other characters, Andy and his sister, if you will. But the third act, especially in the toy factory, is the best. I think that is the best kill out of all the movies. What happens to him in that film, I won't spoil the movie, but it is phenomenal. I love what they did there, and that's why it is number 3 on my list. Coming to number 2 is Cult of Chucky from 2017. I know a lot of fans of the franchise, well, not a lot, but some didn't like this movie, but critics like this movie. This film, along with The Curse of Chucky, have an 83 and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. The first film has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the films in between are between 25 to 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. But The Cult of Chucky is great. It brings all the films together. You see all the old characters. Andy is an adult living on his own, and he is sent a good guy doll, which turns out to be Chucky. But for some reason, he's able to get to this insane asylum and tries to take revenge on previous characters from the previous films. And there ends up being, I believe, at least 3 Chuckies in this film. And I loved it. I love the kills in this film. I love the story. In my opinion, being the second best in the franchise, I just love what they did here, bringing all the characters together. I even like Jennifer Tilly coming in this film. However, I didn't like her in those 3 other films. But maybe over time, if I start to watch them more and more, maybe I'll change my opinion on them. But who knows? But for now, Cult of Chucky is the second best in the franchise, in my opinion. And again, this is just my opinion. So definitely check it out. It is a great watch, in my opinion. So yeah, it definitely comes in at number 2. And my number 1 favorite Child's Play film is the original from 1988. I love this film. Charles Lee Ray is running from the police, and he puts his soul into a good guy doll. And a mother who is desperate to find a good guy doll for Andy buys one from a guy off the street, basically, and brings it home, and he's so happy to have this doll for his birthday. But it turns out that the doll is evil and starts killing off people, including Andy's babysitter and best friend to his mom. And they don't know if he's doing it or if he thinks or imagining someone else is doing it. They don't know. And it's not till the 3rd act that we really find out, that it is Chucky. And it also shows that he was telling the truth the whole entire time. And they finally believe him. And I love the part, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film, I love the part when the mom turns over the doll and checks for batteries. And there's no batteries in there. And then his head turns around and says, "Hi, I'm Chucky. You want to play?" And rolls underneath the couch. And I love the original. The originals are generally the best in the franchise, and this is no exception, in my opinion. I love this film growing up. I was 10 years old when this film came out, and it started what was going to be a great franchise until we get to The Bride of Chucky, and then we get The Seed, then we get The Curse. And then I thought the franchise was dead because I didn't think they could do anything to revive this series. And they come out with Cult of Chucky, and they do it. They give this franchise another jolt, and I love what they did. And there are rumors now of them coming out with some films. Another sequel called Chucky on the Orient Express, but that was back in 2014. So right now, I haven't heard anything else about that one. There's also talks of doing a crossover called Freddy vs. Chucky, Child's Play on Elm Street, where Chucky is sent to a house on Elm Street as a gift, and they both end up teaming up and like what they're doing, and eventually their relationship goes sour, and that's where the fun happens. So apparently there are 2 films still in talks to continue this series. One being a sequel to Cult of Chucky, and the other one being I wouldn't say so much a spin-off. Still have something to do with the franchise, but it's going to be like just Freddy versus Jason, which I'm really hoping they do that with Freddy versus Chucky, or I wouldn't even mind Freddy versus Michael, Freddy versus Leatherface. No matter what, I would love to see these horror icons face off against each other. It's what fans want. It's what I want. But that is my ranking of all 7 Child's Play films, from my least favorite to my favorite. So in the comment section below, give me your ranking of all 7 films. Or if you've only seen a handful, 2 or 3, give me your ranking of those. Or just give me your favorite Child's Play film. Let me know. Let's talk about movies. I love talking about movies. horror films, any types, romantic comedies, action films. I also love talking about music, TV shows. I do top tens as well. And so, uh, with that, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share my video, and let's talk about movies. I love it. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.